I really never thought much about making art for others or sharing it with others until I think it was Facebook. I posted my first picture on Facebook or something like that. It was just a way of me saying like, hey, check it out, I made a painting and I like it. It kind of came out pretty. This response all of a sudden became like, you know, I think over 80, 90 people ended up liking my first piece of art, and not at all what my expectation was putting it out there, but it was, I got something for myself, and I really got how much other people related to my art and how much my art spoke to other people.
Tech can make you happy or tech can make you sad, depending how you use it. It can be good or bad, so don't let tech be the boss of you. Be the boss of it instead.
The internet has been so powerful and expanded so rapidly because it really ties into some very basic human needs. One, for attention, two, for approval, and social connectedness. People are not meant to live alone. People would die alone in the hunter-gatherer days. So feeling connected is something that's very, very powerful for all of us. And anything that co-opts that system is going to be very rewarding. So Facebook makes us feel connected. It's extremely rewarding. We get that instant surge of oxytocin, of dopamine, and we're inspired to do more and more and more and more.
I didn't know how to get it out there, and so, you know, came along Facebook and things like Constant Contact that would allow me to put all these people that I would talk to, and I would start collecting email addresses, and every time I'd have a show it was like, oh, okay, maybe this person wants to come, and I started to learn how to do this outreach myself. And it was so much easier for me as a person that has a hard time articulating themselves to do it through this social media. And I could put anything I wanted on this little piece of paper, and I could share it on Facebook, and I could send it out on emails, and I could invite people to events, and that was phenomenal for me. It opened up a door that I never thought I would walk through. Not that I didn't think was possible, but that I really didn't even think I would ever walk through. It was such a social action that it was intimidating for me. And then when I got out there, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with being out there. I got really related to a lot of the people that would come up to my booths and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I started really selling my art, and that was an impact on me because, again, it's not something that I went out to go do. It wasn't about the money for me. It was really about expressing myself. But then all of a sudden it was like, hey, money's good, you know, like money is good, and if somebody wants my art, then why not sell it to them? I can't hang 500 paintings in my own house, right? So I learned how to share my art, and I would see it in people's houses. That was another really cool thing. Like, I would go on Facebook after an art show, and I would see these people tagging my company, and like, it was, you know, proudly holding up their piece of art, and it was like really cool to see other people falling in love with a piece of me, is how it felt, you know, like a little piece of me that wasn't always so easy to discover because you didn't know me, you know. So it made buying, you know, selling my art easier, promoting myself easier, getting, you know, shows easier. When I played music, it was bars and everything that I did in the realm of creativity to grow my business and to grow my creative company was highly influenced by technology.
Technology has opened up vast universes for us. We are now able to see what's going on in distant parts of the earth, things that before we really didn't have the ability to understand. People are able to come together and create change in ways far more powerful than before. Leaders have been toppled because of Facebook meetups. It's an unprecedented world we're living in. It's wonderful when people take advantage of this and they use technology to find out what's going on in the world, to connect with like-minded people, and to try to go out there and solve the problem. But solving the problem is that complex thinking that we've been talking about. You can't solve a problem on your cell phone. You've got to use the cell phone to get information, but then you have to use your best brain to sit and think and reason and puzzle about how these complicated problems in society can be solved. So we've got to marry the technology with our higher level functioning that can really powerfully impact the world and try to make it a better place.
Growing up in an urban community, you realize you build this hunger, you build this passion because you want change. And it's like when you look onto the outside and you see, an individual who's the same age as you living a better life, you want that. You want to change your whole aspect, your whole surroundings to be that person or be better than that person, or just change it completely and create a whole new life for yourself. Because you don't want to become what the community is becoming part of crimes, becoming a statistic as well. So you make sure you try to change moving forward. What comes with the hunger and passion of, going forward towards your dream, sometimes it can turn bad, because what you realize that, not everything happens fast. Not every morning you wake up is going to be pleasant. There's some mornings that bring you down. There's some mornings you might look at your parents and realize, life is not as good as you want it to be. And then you look at others and you say, you know what? I am tired. I'm tired of living this life. I'm tired of being part of, this community that doesn't really have such a good, outlook. So you start to think of things, and I can say for myself, there's times where I started to think of things to lead me into a wrong direction. But sometimes you just got to look back and say, is this where I want to go? Because your life can change in basically 2.3 seconds. All it takes is one mistake and your whole life can change. You can be in jail for years and never have that chance again to live your dream. I have to say that I'm a big advocate for technology in the community, because with technology, it opened up the whole new window for me to see the world. It became a connection where I was able to make business deals through the internet, where you didn't have to see my face at all. You just knew the product that I was delivering. You knew the service that I had, and you needed it. And it opened up so many lanes where I can go in different directions and still be able to make money. And now it's so great, like such platforms as PayPal, Square Readers, that I'm able to do my business from home. I'm able to do my business even from working a 9 to 5. I can have, making money while I'm working. And that's a big thing, especially when it comes down to the youth and using technology in communities. Most of these kids do not have it. Most of these kids are, mom is barely making any money, they barely have internet at home. And when they go to school, or even when they go to a library and they get a chance to actually use a computer, or use a tablet, or use even a mobile phone, it opens up a whole new world. It makes them realize that, hey, there's someone out there that doing something that I love, and I can actually do it for myself. This generation is creating a whole new era. They realize that, hey, we're not going to do the traditional things that their parents have done in the past. We're going to change our environment. We're going to change our world moving forward. And this is where technology is becoming that tool that's bringing kids to a whole nother level. I'm a big YouTube user. If I need to learn something to fix my car, fix my computer, I use YouTube. And it's so I can learn something in a matter of 5 minutes that would take someone who goes to school and learn from a whole semester. And it becomes very funny, because it's like, hey, I can go on YouTube and figure out, do you know how to fix it? Don't worry, I go to YouTube. It's becoming that tool. These are the tools we're talking about.
Financial health is important to happiness because finances equal safety in our capitalistic society, and human beings need to be safe. Happiness is a higher level function. You cannot be happy if you're unsafe. So for many people, they do not have safety unless they have enough financial resources. Studies have shown that once we get to a certain income level, more income does not necessarily translate to more happiness. But until we get to that level, and until we're safe and financially secure, making more money does make us happier. Technology is the domain of the young. It's fast, it's rapidly changing, it's novel, it's exciting, and it's allowed young people to be more productive than ever. No longer are they bound by their education or their geography. They can go all over the world and do whatever they want and connect with whomever they want. So we're really seeing a youth that's empowered, that's active, that's brave, that's expansive, and hopefully if they're thinking enough and thinking about their thinking, they'll be able to change the world in tremendously positive ways in shorter times than we ever imagined.
So I realized that sleep is crucial to my daily growth as well, and keeping focus to my creativity. And sometimes I realized that I'm gonna have to buy basically a digital clock to step away from my phone, because 1 minute it could just be, looking at a picture, and the next minute I'm over playing a game and having a conversation and posting new posts. Hours went by. So next thing I do, I'm gonna start leaving my phone in a different room and having my alarm clock to wake me up and knowing how to manage my time better.
The problem is sometimes we just go down that rabbit hole so far that we don't even realize that an hour or two of our day is lost. And unfortunately, that hour or two should have been invested in a real friendship, or really finding the item you want, or really getting to know something in depth, not that constant novelty seeking, skimming the surface of everything that's so powerfully addicting.
And I'm a big stickler about this because it's easy for me to let go of technology in that space, but I see that for a lot of the people around me and in my world, it's not. And we go to dinner and they spend an hour on their phone at the dinner table, or, distracted, or, and it's like, I see the impact that technology, the negative impact technology can have on how we deal with each other, and the lack of how we deal with each other, and how much it's impacted people's ability to really relate to people outside of the world of technology. And to me, that's huge, because it can remove the human experience if we allow it to, and that's never a good thing. So that's a big thing. I used to be a very secluded person, and there wasn't very many people. I grew up in a neighborhood that wasn't very congruent with who I was, and I grew up a pretty lonely child. So then this thing came along called technology, and I started really meeting so many people out there that had similar stories to mine. I started being able to create relatedness with people. As a trans man, things in my life weren't so congruent in my body for 30 years of my life, and it made things very difficult for me to own myself and express myself. And I started finding this immense amount of information, and one of them being changing my physical appearance. Technology gave me this opportunity to take this canvas that is my body and have it match who I know myself to be on the inside. One of my favorite is this app that I use called GoodRx. GoodRx is a kind of pseudo insurance. Being on hormone therapy is pretty expensive, and for an artist, it's not always easy to come across a significant amount of money at a moment. So this app GoodRx has dropped my testosterone medicine to half price. My needles are $3 to $4 as opposed to $12 to $15. Testosterone is over $100, and I pay $45. So technology has been epic in me being able to do this. Finding competent doctors was a huge thing. I can't tell you how many times I called doctors and they had no idea what it was to deal with a trans person. They didn't know what a trans person was, and it's scary. It's a scary world out there when you're going in to get any kind of medical treatment and you're dealing with this kind of quiet situation that not very many people are aware about, and you're being expected to trust them to go in and get medical treatment. And it's very scary. So through technology, I was able to sit and do the research and find competent doctors, mental health doctors, physical health doctors, general practitioners. I can't thank technology enough for that, because I wouldn't have found myself. Forget medicine, forget that stuff. I wouldn't have found myself. I wouldn't really be where I am today with myself had it not been for technology in my life.
The cell phone is a world of information right in the palm of your hand, and it can be used in so many ways. It can help you to track your physical health, it can remind you to eat, it can remind you to take breaks. There's also a world of apps that help fix everything from nutrition to exercise to meditation to daily yoga reminders. One of the applications that I find most useful in my practice is called the iMood Journal. And that way you can track your mood throughout the day. And that gives you a real handle on the activities you should be engaging more in and the activities you should be engaging less on. So it's a way of developing your metacognition about how you're functioning throughout the day.
I have hemiparesis, which is a form of cerebral palsy, which means my left side is weaker than my right. I have blindness on my left side, which impacts me a lot because there's a whole another half of the world that I can't see unless I really pay attention and look that direction. So I feel like I'm missing a lot sometimes. And I have to strategically place myself when I go to dinner with friends or family so that I could see everybody at the table and be part of the conversation. Having a disability, nowadays they have so much more technology out there to help us. One of the programs I use to write papers in school is called Drag and Dictate, and I just put on a microphone and I can talk my entire paper into it instead of having to type it out one by one. Tech has both a good and bad influence on me, I think, because things in technology like Facebook and text messaging and stuff like that allows me to connect with my friends easier and get my point across. I'm the quiet one in the group, so to get my point, and sometimes I'll text them and be like, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. But on the downside, there's also a lot of bullying, and I've seen that a lot in my life. I personally have dealt with it in my life, and it gets especially worse online because people think they're shielded, that people won't be able to find them, but there's ways, and it really should stop. One thing that really changed my perspective on things is, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said to me one day, "You're not disabled, you're differently abled, and everybody in the world is differently abled, so you're just like everybody else." And that really is what stuck with me and helped boost my confidence, and that I feel much better about myself. The one day that I came over to Jessica's house and we were just playing around, and her friend came over and he had tattoos on him, and we just decided for fun to do Sharpie tattoos, and we were just writing all these positive words on ourselves and everywhere, and then Jessie started photographing us, and that was the first day that I really felt the most beautiful in my life.
The urge to be beautiful is something that's innate because beauty is really connected to health and fertility, so we're all hardwired to want to be beautiful, and men are hardwired to seek out beautiful women. And Facebook has really captured our attention because of that. We want to see what we look like. We want to see what other people are looking like. And that can be very positive if it exposes us to new images of beauty, and now what we see as beautiful is rapidly expanding.
For New Year's, at the very last minute, I decided to put a little party together for a few friends that, are my people and people that I love and feel comfortable around, and what better way to bring in a new year than that way. And, through Facebook, and I believe it was a few emails I had to send out, I was able to reach out to this community that it's just amazing people and bring them together. And further than just being there for me, it's like I got people related that don't usually spend time together, and we had an amazing time. And there's that time where you got to learn how to shut it off and turn it off. It really was kind of a way for me to let go of the person that I knew myself to be for so many years, and fully embrace this person that I'm becoming, and coming out of my shell and being me. And it was a special celebration for me, and it was nice to have the most important people in my life there, and technology helped me get those people together. And with those people, we were able to let it go and also be very present with each other and spend time and relate and associate with wonderful people in my life.
Tech is profoundly changing our brain. We have been never exposed to anything like this before. That constant stimulation is not what our brains is designed for, and it's radically altering how we use our brains.
This concept of constantly being plugged in is dangerous to an extent, because we're almost afraid of missing anything, missing that email, missing that text, missing the latest message or post.
TechVersify is vitally important because we're living in a time of unprecedented change. The problem is nobody's thinking about it. We just got addicted to all this stuff without really any awareness of what was going on and what's happening to our brain. I think we are living through the most seismic shift that mankind has ever experienced.
Essentially, we have computers in our pockets now. We get to communicate with anyone that we need to talk to in an instant. That's a huge change and shift in culture just in the past 15 years, essentially.
It gives them an opportunity to meet other trans folks that are doing the same thing that they are in that path, moving forward as activists in their own community.
Inner city youth deals with a lot of things when it comes down to drugs, fights, getting into the law system. I feel like that technology has built a bridge to kind of help them venture out and actually open their eyes to see that there's more in life than just the city they live in.
Funding diverse people and projects is critical tonight and critical to our entrepreneur efforts here in Miami. The more that we can have people with different backgrounds, different personal histories, different life experiences, different daily concerns, colliding and connecting with one another, the better.
My advice for other Latinas in tech would be to seek out resources in your community and to educate yourself. There's so many clubs, organizations that are offering free training that you can take advantage of now, today, to create your own opportunities.
TechVersify, to me, it stands out for diversity. And when you're talking about diversity and inclusion, you're talking about a digital divide. Some people still don't have high-speed internet. Some people still don't even understand how technology can be used to benefit them.
Me having a computer, laptop, made me go to a phone, made me use mobile apps each day to help me throughout my day as well as run my business. Without social network, without the internet, I don't know how would I make money.
Technology is changing everything. Everything from the way that we connect with each other, talk to each other, to the way we think about our bodies, to the way that we think about our healthcare.
You can either decide to get on board with learning about technology, or you can get hit by it, and it's really your choice. I mean, you can see the train coming.
TechVersify isn't about gadgets. It's not about electronics. It's about how we use digital devices and how that impacts our happiness and our quality of life.
Right now we're altering our brain, and we need to be aware of what we're doing. And TechVersify will help us become aware. and then we can all make conscious choices that are right for us.
Tech can make you happy or tech can make you sad, depending how you use it. It can be good or bad, so don't let tech be the boss of you. Be the boss of you.